Hey everyone, I thought to give you a progress update concerning my Achilles tendon injury. If you don't know how I received the injury, I'll link a video to it in the description below. Essentially, I have had an Achilles tendon rupture just over 6 months ago. I was doing my sport, which is a mixed martial arts, or at the time I was doing Thai boxing, and it was during a Thai boxing session towards the end where I just put on weight through that leg. I think I was moving sideways, and that's when it happened. It was just a random freak thing which happened, and so that's why I've been rehabilitating since that point. And the process has gone quite well, but it started off with 8 weeks being in this orthopedic boot. If you don't know the nature of these kind of injuries, a rupture it's a big injury, and so they're normally taken care of one of two ways, where they surgically reattach the tendon, reconnect the tendon, suture it together, and then it heals and strengthens and heals over time that way. Or they allow the body to do that itself if you catch it early enough. And so that's what the NHS, the National Health Service, opted for, and so that's a route where I went down. So it started off with being in this orthopedic boot for 8 weeks. Starting off on crutches, where I wouldn't put any weight on through that leg. And as time went on, the boot would change from plantar flexion angle to more of a neutral angle, all the while I'm allowed to put more body weight on, so 25 to 50 to 75 to 100 during this 8-week period. I was allowed to remove the boot to change the lining of the inner lining of it, and also to do some of the exercise that the physios allowed me to do. So that was for the first 8 weeks. After that, a couple of weeks of transitioning into normal shoes, and so that was a process where I would wear maybe normal footwear inside, or bare feet if I felt comfortable. But when I was walking outside, I would take definitely the boot and maybe a crutch or two, depending on whether I had to walk long distances, as to not get too fatigued or risk injury. And so that was for the next couple of weeks after that point. And then during this point, I'm changing the exercises I'm doing with strengthening the calf and keeping the tendon in its progression to becoming stronger. And so that was the next weeks after that. And the next milestone is the 12-week mark, where I actually started to do some cycling. Started to do some outdoor cycling, should I say. Outdoor cycling, where I'd be on the mountain bike and I'd cycle for maybe 7k or something like that, which is just good for me to get the use of my legs and start to develop leg strength again, and also cardio. And I was also in that point doing more sport-specific exercises to help, as well as the physio recommended exercises, which was things like heel lifts, calf raises, using resistance bands to do ankle eversions and rotations and that kind of stuff as well. So that was one of the things which I was doing at the 12-week mark. I actually was able to do a single calf raise during my checkup, which is an amazing feat for that time of the recovery. And so it was going really well at that point, and so it was really good. And so at the 12-week mark, I was adding more of these exercises. At the 16-week mark, I began to do more squats, because I was allowed to do more dorsiflexion. I was doing some stretches and such for the tendon, the calf, all the while doing the calf exercises, the calf strengthening exercises. So I was adding more bodyweight squats to that as well. Nothing with any weights or resistance bands, anything like that for squats. But I was allowed to go lower in the squats, so I was adding more of that. I also started played a round of golf. So one of the things that help with recovery is walking, and figured, hey, golf, there's a lot of walking. So I played a round of golf and didn't do too badly, so that was really nice. So I played a bit of golf, and I was adding more resistance to the training I was doing in terms of the calf recovery, and continuing with getting the single calf raises better, because that's a main exercise for knowing where you are in terms of recovery, and certainly return to sport as well. And so roughly the 20-week mark, that's when I went back to the gym. So I would go back to the gym, but not to do any rolling or certain exercises. But what I would do is do some of the the grappling drills as part of the class. No drills that involve doing standing throws or anything like that. I wouldn't do do that side of things. But I would do things which involved me not taking any like weight on my leg at all. So that was pretty good. So I started doing that from about the week 20 mark, all the while adding some heavy bag work. So I was hitting the bag, and I was also doing some more of the grappling exercises. If you're familiar with the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, things like hip escapes and leg circles, leg pubbling, that kind of stuff. Anything that wouldn't put too much strain, and anything I would need explosiveness through the leg to be able to carry out. So I was developing strength that way too, and that was from about the week 20 mark. So it was a good stage in recovery. And a few weeks ago, week 24 mark, I was looking to introduce some light rolling. So wanting to return to sport, which for me is the sports which comprise mixed martial art. And so that's what I was doing. And so right now I'm at the 6-month mark, which is a huge milestone, and recovery has been going fairly well. I haven't been in pain this whole process, which has been a real blessing, and I've been consistent with the things which I've been asked to do, and not too eager to push anything past physio advice. So I'm ahead of the curve just now in terms of recovery, which is really good. And at this stage, the protocol for the NHS, they say that I can return to sport at 6 months, but I can't have any contact, no sprinting, no jumping, no changing of direction. That's kind of the limit on what I can do just now, for the time being. However, in my previous visits and over the phone, I've been sharing what I've been able to do physically in terms of calf strength and everything else, and they've advised everything that I'm doing. They have advised that I can do, which has been really good. And so things which I've been aware of is that there's the physical side of things and then the mental side of things during this whole thing, where I've just been focused on staying positive and also positive and patient, just being consistent with the things which I've been doing and not trying to get ahead of myself. So I'm doing things in the measure in which I can test myself without stressing anything which doesn't need to be stressed at this point. And so that's what I'm doing, and taking things easily, but knowing that, hey, I'm on this journey to return to training. Like, it's actually a pretty short time which I've been injured, even though it's some say, or a lot say, it's a serious injury, but I am consistent with what I'm doing, and knowing that if I do things right, I will return, of course. And with that being said as well, when it comes to what I've been doing, and a lot of my professors have said the same thing as well, is that I am doing what I can do, and so and just stay active and being consistent with the exercise and things. And so that's where I am just now, the 6-month mark, which is a huge milestone, and things have been going well, and it's been great. So what I'm doing now next, or what I'm focusing on next, is continuing to develop and really get good at the single calf raises, where I'm going to be adding more weight. So not just my body weight to do them, I'm going to be adding additional weight. And much like how, I don't know if I said before, but in the gym I would walk around with a heavy grappling dummy, which weighs probably like 40 plus K, and I'm just walking around with that just to get used to carrying extra weight. And so now I'm going to be doing that with calf raises, and just going up incrementally and carrying more weight in addition to my body weight. And so I'm going to be doing that, continuing progressing what I'm doing in a sport specific way. So I haven't started doing anything like penetration shots, or if you're familiar with wrestling, it's those when you're shooting for a takedown and you're very, very low to the ground. That requires a lot of strength in dorsiflexion to do that, and so I haven't done anything like that yet, but I've been doing similar things, and so that's what I've been doing to progress. Then also, probably one of the main things is in the mental and the physical aspect, is assessing the direction of my grappling game. So I'll be using more guards. I've nicknamed my general, what I'm doing, the gammy guard. I've nicknamed it that. So basically anything where I don't have to stretch out my injured leg, I'm just basically going forward with my right leg. And so things like butterfly guard and half guard and things like that will be more naturally what I'm willing to do, certainly for the time being. So I'll be developing that more in a focus. But right now I'm at the 6-month mark, and it is coming into Christmas 2022. So that is where I'm at just now, and I go into the new year. Gonna be adding, like I'm saying, adding more weight to my single calf raises, and continue to rehab and progress and build strength there. So thanks for sticking with me for this long and the update, and you'll see me more on the mats. And Happy New Year, Merry Christmas whenever you're watching this, and we'll catch you in the next videos. See ya.